Hey, what's up? I'm Kayree. In this video, I'm going to be talking about banks and overdraft fees. Banks and these ridiculous overdraft fees, I should add. Okay. If you're the type of person that you don't track your expenses like you should, if you don't write them down in a check register or you use a check card register like this, you might find yourself being a victim of overdraft fees. Overdraft fees are normally assessed when there's not enough money in your account to process a transaction, to clear a transaction, but the bank clears it anyway, and then they charge you a fee as a convenience to clear those charges. Wachovia offers this. It's called Wachovia Check Card Register. In it, there's even a little slot where you can slide your check card right there. Even gives you an example of how to use it. You see the person over here, they made a deposit for $300. Then on the 7th, they went to a grocery store, they spent $55. Now the balance is $255, $244.75. And they did it as a debit. That's why the check is right by the pen. So now you know that when you swipe your debit card, that if you use debit, the money comes out directly and is paid, immediately, almost. When you use it as a credit, there's some processing lag time in between the time that you made the charge with the merchant and the time that that they actually receive the money from the financial institution. Which brings up my next point: interchange. Keep in mind that anytime a bank will offer you something like free checking, that it's not really free, because they make interchange, and that's why they want you to carry the card with the Visa logo on it, because every time you swipe your card, there's an interchange fee that the merchant pays. So wherever you're doing business, they pay an interchange fee. That interchange fee is split between Visa and the financial institution. So now imagine millions of customers doing this on a daily basis. How much money, how much revenue this generates for both the bank, and the financial and Visa or Mastercard. Keep in mind that that credit cards use the same thing. They're actually processed on the same system, which is why I don't understand how come a customer that has a credit card with the same bank they have a checking account with can use their check card and not have enough money, but a charge will go through because your available balance is, your posted balance is different from what your actual available balance is, so let a charge go through, knowing that they're going to charge you a fee. But when you use your credit card, say at Abercrombie or Macy's, and you're at the point of sale, and that purchase is going to take you over your limit, you're going to get declined, and you're going to have a message to call the merchant. Why can't they do this with the debit cards? I know that people don't like to be declined, but I would much rather be declined than be charged fees. Another bad habit that banks have, I know that for a fact, and I'm not slandering Wachovia, I'm just telling you the truth. I know they do this. Say customer, just say Bob, Bob Smith, he does 7 transactions with his check cards, seven purchases. But Bob also writes a check for $1,400 and maybe to pay his mortgage or his rent or whatever. Wachovia's system they know that Bob doesn't have enough money to cover all these transactions. So as a courtesy, they back out those 7 charges, and they put through the largest transaction first, the $1,400, and then they start to process those 7 transactions. Now, if for some reason those 7 transactions after that $1,400 has been paid cannot be paid, then they start to bounce them. So now you may have 7 fees, and I've seen it personally. You have 7 fees on your account, whereas if they would have just declined your check, you have 1, maybe 2 fees at max if they represented your check a second time before you got a chance to deposit that money. That's usury to me. That's not a convenience. It is inconvenient to charge somebody $245 for 7 fees. That hasn't happened to me personally, but I know people that it has happened to. So my suggestion would be, if you're not the type of person that will use a checkbook register because you don't write checks, You're not going to write it down in a notebook or something like that, and you should carry one of these. Now, if you're absolutely not going to carry this and then you're just going to try to do the math in your head, I would suggest that you just get rid of the check card and get an ATM card. It is inconvenient because now you can't pay for your gas at the pump. Now you got to go by the bank every time you need to make a purchase, but hey, you never get even any overdraft fees, and you keep 100% of all your money. Now, the only problem with that is a lot of times if you get rid of the Visa check card and get an ATM card, then your account is no longer free. I mean, that's a small price to pay to me, though, seeing how, you know, if you have a balance requirement, say it's less than $100, you pay a certain amount, like $20 or something like that, or whatever it is. It might be $10, but it's going to be cheaper than one overdraft fee. So either way, it's still a win-win situation for you. So of course the banks want you to go out and swipe your card because you're making interchange for them. That's why they offer you things like points and rewards and way to save, and even what does Keep the Change that Bank of America has, is all to promote interchange. And since banks are in the business to make money, you should not be surprised if you research your local bank and find out, or that big bank that you're a part of, and you see that last year they made more money off of overdraft fees and just fees in general than they made off of loans and everything else combined. Something is wrong with that equation. I know now that, you know, I think the Feds are stepping in and trying to regulate the banks with these policies, and now I know that Bank of America actually gives you a choice when you go in. Do you want us to decline this? Do you want us to put them through? Keep in mind that a lot of banks still don't do processing over the weekend, so your balance on Friday maybe or Saturday may be different than your balance that's on Monday, and your real balance you're going to see on Tuesday. But you should know how much money that you have in your account at all times. But again, if you're not going to be the type of person that's going to actually do that, if you're not going to be responsible enough to know how much money that you have, go ahead and get rid of that check card and get an ATM card. Thanks for listening, guys.